be interesting depending on how your cell phone does your math. Because I'm used to having school sponsored calculator kind of thing. And because of COVID, we don't do that. Let me make sure I've got, okay. Okay, I think this is all right. I think it's animated properly. Y'all, I'm still trying, somebody else just try to get in. I'm still trying to get caught up on attendance. So Alexis, where did I just put it? What? Stop. Shh. Get your tushy written up. Oh, just do the makeup here. Alexis. All right, so Brayden, shush. Brayden, shush. You do realize all of this live streams in this class, right?
I didn't say anything bad.
Okay.
I said he gave me a fat piece of brownie. Oh, sorry, bad word.
Okay, just stop. Stop. Okay. Stop. No, it's not stop. All right, so okay, so yesterday, for those of you that actually accessed what you were supposed to, what I did was I pulled up an old PowerPoint that I personally used for years and years and years to do nomenclature, naming acids specifically, because bases are easy. It's the metal and then like hydroxide. That's it. Acids are rough. So for today's opener, what is it that makes an acid an acid? Well, they both normally have oxygen.
So
Normally, there's something very different between, and yes, shh, stop. There is something that is very different between most acids, not acid. I just said it backwards. Most acids, and I didn't mean to. And bases, what?
Hey, remember, it's online.
Okay, so what's the big difference between the base and the acid? They both will burn you. They both will burn you if you get them on you.
one of them gets the brain from guys.
Okay, so I hear stop. So I heard it over here. Acids always start with hydrogen. Okay, always. What do most bases have at the end? Not all, but most. No. Jared, put it up, get the crap out. Acids always start with hydrogen. Bases normally end with what? What is that thing called? The OH with the -1. No. Bases, no. There, I heard it. Hydroxide. So, stop. Lord, y'all, 2 days and you're nuts. So, you just missed me. Okay. Most, or in fact, all acids have hydrogen in the front, which is +1, and almost all, there is one major exception, but most bases have capital OH, both capital, which is hydroxide, as their anion. This is going to be fun to teach today. They end with hydroxide, most, almost all. The major exception is ammonia, which is NH3. That's the major exception, but most of them have hydroxide at the end. Don't.
Teachers, please pardon this interruption.
Don't.
Students, if you made all A's in all classes for this 6 weeks, please join us in the mall area for a celebration.
I
Again,
didn't
if you
even,
made all A's in all classes for the this 6 weeks, please join us in the mall area. Thank you.
didn't even see it email. Okay, so if you made all A's, I think they said,
No, always.
the bell ringer acids start with hydrogen, and most, there's one major exception, that most bases end with hydroxide. Capital O, capital H with a -1. Like I said, this is about to be interesting for me to teach because almost all of you use your phones for a calculator, and iPhones and Droids are different. So, I don't know if it's on this one. I don't think it is. HYDROXIDE. So, I get to teach you guys how to calculate pH. pH goes from 0 to 14. Below 7 is an acid. But this says 1 to 14. I've seen 0 to 14. I've seen 1 to 14. Above 7 up to 14 is a base. Okay, exactly 7 is neutral, which is water. Water's perfect. If I put the way that we're supposed to write this, which, so, this is water. Do not just write a bad word. It is exactly 1/2 acid. Stop. And 1/2 base. Okay, it's perfect. It's technically a weak acid and a weak base at the same time. Yeah, like I haven't heard that joke every single year I've ever taught chemistry. But if it's below 7, it is acidic. If it is above 7, it is basic. Like I said, Brandon, the stuff that I put into Canvas yesterday, I'm not looking like for you to write that down as notes, but that's the way that I teach acids, and you don't have to deal with all of those exceptions like I did on Friday. Hayden, what are you doing?
Sorry.
Okay. So pH, which is the potential of the hydrogen ion, which is what that actually means. You're going to take the negative logarithm of your hydrogen ion composition. Oh, I need more sleep, I swear. I didn't glue any of this out, so if I'm going too fast, please let me know. I'm trying to. It's been a long 2 weeks. So it says, what is the pH of a solution that has a hydrogen ion composition of 1 × 10 to the -3rd? There's a what? Where? What did I do wrong? What is the pH of a solution? I'm about to do this. That has a 1E3 molar concentration. I'm about to do this right now. Okay. So what does the M with the underline mean? That's what you're asking. It means molar concentration. How strong is it? That's basically what it means. Now, here, let me get my calculator up, because I know the majority of you have iPhones. I know not all of you do. So it says, what is this? This is your question. What is the pH of a solution that has a hydrogen ion composition of 1E-3? You cannot take, y'all, shh, you cannot take a negative log. So let me, because I know most of you do this. So 1 EE negative 3. Negative log, enter. That's not right. I've got to figure out the right button push with cell phones. I know with normal calculators, this is way easier. So 1E negative 3, 1E negative 3, enter. Log. I have to figure out the right button push. Because your phone doesn't help you if you don't put it into the thing correctly. 0.003, and it's telling you the wrong. I should have done this yesterday when I was at home. I did not do it. 1E negative 3.001. Okay, so I finally got it to work. So what I just did was I put in my phone, and I know the people that are remote can't see what I'm doing with my phone. Was I did 1, and then I do the EE function, and then it would be negative 3. Hit enter, and then hit this log 10 button. I don't. If you have a Droid, I'm gonna have to come see because I don't know. 1 E.
Are you making fun of people about Droids? Funny.
No, it's just the fact that my phone's an iPhone and not a Droid. Oh, this is the first time I've ever had one of these. And then when I hit log 10, it gave me negative 3. You cannot do a negative log. So you do whatever the power is. And honestly, they're very, very, very nice to y'all here at this district because these are whole numbers. They're not decimals. When they're decimals, it's a totally different process. So you would do 1 times 10 to the negative third, left, 0.001, and then you would take its logarithm. My phone fell asleep. And then in this case, it's going to tell you negative 3, but you have to take the negative of that. With a normal calculator, like just a normal calculator, you can get around that just a little bit. But you still can't take a negative log. So whether it's an iPhone, okay, this won't even shut right, or a Droid, you're going to ignore this negative sign, and then your answer is going to be a negative. You just take the negative of that, and it forces it to a positive. If I was doing 1E negative 6, let's see here. I can get my phone to. So 1EE negative 6, I would hit enter, and then I would take its logarithm. It's negative 6, you would take the negative of that, and that pH is the value of basically, no, this is acidic, slightly acidic milk, very, very, very slightly acidic. And so the pH of this would end up being that of a value of 6. Like I said, this district is very, very, very nice that these values are whole numbers and they're not decimals, because then you're going to have to do all different kinds of weird math to figure out what the difference is.
Where did this fix come from?
How did I get the answer that was in blue? Okay,
So
so
why was it?
do you have an iPhone? or Droid? How are you
Why
doing?
is there like 10 -6?
What are you talking about? Oh, you mean the one time skin negative 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 0.00, that is times 10 to the negative 6.
Not 6 is 9.
9?
Oh, no, no.
I haven't gotten that yet.
I'm sorry if you.
What?
Me too.
So- Shh. 2 days and you guys are already lost. This one is here and this one is here. 0.00000010. If I did not just misread that, is times 10 to the negative 6.
Oh my.
What?
I
You said how'd you
still.
get the answer?
I am too.
It's right
Oh, you literally just put any question there, put the answer. Like,
here.
I don't know what we're doing.
Oh,
Here.
I know where to
I
find
haven't
it.
done
How
times
do you find it?
pH of 9.
this special.
How do you find it?
How do you find it?
So I changed that to scientific notation. Here. And they can't see what I'm doing on the board. So 0.1234 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 0. Did I just do that right? 1, 0. So, I mean, it's been since like the first 6 weeks since we've done scientific notation. Six jumps. Same thing. It's just not, the one that's on your paper is in standard notation, and the one that I did up here is in scientific notation. Same thing. This and that is the same thing. How did you get the first one? Okay, so this is what's gonna make this rough. Take off Friday, I swear. Do you have an iPhone?
No.
You have a Droid.
Yeah, she wrote.
Okay, so when you turn it sideways, do you have the EE button?
No.
That's your problem. Okay, so you're gonna have to put it in as 0.12345110. Okay, which is the same thing as this. And then you're gonna hit, do you have a logarithm button?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna use the wall.
You hit log. So do 0.50.
I don't know.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 0.
What?
1, 0. And now hit log. Oh, you gotta do the log first. So now, sorry, because I'm not used to, so 0.0000. 5 zeros, 1, 0. Close the parentheses. And now hit enter. And you did it. And then you just take the negative of it because you cannot do a negative logarithm. It'll give you an error on your calculator. Like I said, that's what's going to make this difficult because I'm used to using like a class set of calculators, and because of COVID, we can't. Now, so the next one, which is what you asked, what is the hydrogen concentration of a solution that has a pH of 9? This is where you have to do what is called the opposite of a logarithm, which is just 10 to the power up. And y'all, once again, this is where it makes it a little bit difficult depending on the type of calculator that you have. I don't know if you're using an iPhone or a Droid. With this particular one, your hydrogen or hydronium, those are interchangeable. The difference between hydrogen, so here's regular old hydrogen, here's water, here's hydronium. These are actually the same thing. And I even asked the other chemistry teachers, when we had our asynchronous day on Monday, do you guys use the word hydronium? And they said no. But all hydronium is a water with an extra hydrogen that's been attached to it. This is actually how that hydrogen ion gets carried in a solution. When you're trying to do the opposite, you're going to do 10 to the negative of whatever your pH is. That's it. Like, they're unbelievably nice to y'all on going back and forth because they're all whole numbers. Like I said, when they're decimals, not that it's hard, it's just more complicated. Sometimes, instead of doing this with the value of a hydrogen or hydronium, same thing, ion concentration, it's talking about the potential of their hydroxide, which is a base. pH does not go above 14. So you're basically subtracting from 14 to go between hydrogen and hydroxide. It's just which one is the question asking you about? So your y'all, I can't even speak today. Your potential for your hydroxide would be, once again, you can't put the negative in your calculator. You would take the log of your hydroxide ion concentration and then just take its negative. That's specifically for hydroxide. If you're wanting to go back to hydrogen, you would subtract that from 14. And yeah, you've got it on your next test, which should have been Friday, but because I had to take off the last couple days, right now it's being pushed to Monday. If for some odd reason I do have to take off Friday, you're still going to have your test review, and I will record it and upload it in Canvas because I can't let you guys get another day behind. I can't. But when you add these, they should equal to 14. This is how we go back and forth. All right. If we have a hydroxide, go back. What's the matter? This? You got it? Okay. So the first example, if we have a potential for hydroxide of 1E4 molarity, which I like using an E, not a times 10 to the caret, because that's helpful good at the calculator. I want to know what my potential for hydroxide is. You're going to take the log of the potential for hydroxide. Like I said, it depends if you've got an iPhone or a Droid or whichever app you're using, how this is going to work. When I do this, I'm going to take 1E-4, which in this case would be 0.0001 if you're having to do that. I would take its logarithm. It's going to give you a negative value, and then you just take its negative. If from here, if I ask you what the pH is, whatever this value is, then you subtract that from 14. That's it. That's how you go back and forth between the two. If this district made you guys do decimals, like this value was not a whole number, it's way more complicated. It's not hard, it's just more complicated. And if any of your parents are wigging out because I had to take attendance by 1:30, if you had not checked in, you were marked absent, I think I fixed it this morning. I'm trying my best to get caught up. I do not like missing. It puts me so far behind.
I know.
I'm just hoping I don't have to miss Friday. I don't know yet.
Well, we
Depends.
have to start it.
Depends on when the cat's ashes come in.
What?
Her cat was put to.
Man, this is kind of like really depressing.
So, dude, have you not even heard half the words that have been out of my
That
mouth
was
in the last 2
basically
weeks?
No, I heard about the cat. Like,
Did he have cat leukemia?
I forgot what she was.
No, he had congestive heart failure, and there's absolutely nothing that can be done to fix it.
Sorry.
So, huh?
Cat leukemia.
Cat replacement, I'm not ready to buy 2 brand new Maine Coons. You realize those are like $1,500 cats, right?
No, I meant,
It's a heart replacement.
heart transplant.
Oh, no, 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 no.
No.
I don't know. I mean, if you can, I've never heard of it before, but no. Peeing on everything
It's not really
and suffering and like, yeah, I couldn't, no. You don't do that to an animal. It doesn't
They can
exist.
do it on humans, why can't they do it on?
That's a human, not a cat.
So we're basically like descendants from animals.
We are closer to pigs than anything else. Because you do
What?
realize that, right?
What did you say?
Pigs.
that's why I
Like anatomy, we are closer to pigs than any other animal.
No, we came from monkeys.
Jared, you did
I'm
not.
not
Oh, I
like
swear. I swear. Okay, so you're, and I know that this is not animated the right way, and I could make it go the right way. It just wouldn't do it. But your potential for your hydroxide is 4, which means when you subtract that from 14, your potential for hydrogen, again, that's what the pH and POH. Oh, I can't talk today. That would be 10. Huh? It's right here. Right here. If OH is 1E4 molar, what's the POH? What's the pH? Like halfway down your paper? Little more?
No, so the POH is,
The POH would be 4, the pH would be 10. Once again, you're subtracting from 14. All right, next one. If your pH is 6, what is your hydrogen ion composition or percentage, or there's different words you can use for this. In this case, you're going to be doing 10 to the power of. That's how you do the opposite of a logarithm. Mhm. If we deal with this and subtract it from the 14th, the difference between the 6 and 14 would be 8. That would be the other one's concentration. I did not put an underlying number underneath those. I should have. I just didn't do it. I'll try to fix it. If your pH is 5, is that me making noise? Oh, Michael Collins died.
Who?
It's way before your time in mine. One of the first astronauts, Apollo 11.
No, I wouldn't know. What?
Anyways, he died.
Several.
I remember watching Apollo 9 or 8. It was one of the
Apollo 13 probably, with Tom Hanks in it.
Yeah,
That's Apollo 13.
yeah, I saw that one.
Oh, where it blows up?
Yeah.
That was.
If your potential for your hydrogen is 5, once again, like the magic number's 14. Yes, I know these are negatives, and I know they can't see me pointing at the board online. But your maximum value for your exponent is going to be negative 14. Your difference between that, whether it be hydroxide or hydrogen, is going to be your value. If your hydrogen ion, I really should have made this a superscript and I didn't. If your percent composition of your hydrogen is 1E negative 2, what's your potential for your hydroxide? your difference between these is somewhere between 0 and 14. If this translates to 2, then your hydroxide is going to 14 minus 2 is going to end up being 12. It's a matter of figuring out what calculator are you using on your phone, because the calculator is not going to help you if you do not know how to use it. Whether it be an old school one like this, okay, or a Droid or an iPhone calculator on your phone. Hold on, just a second, and let me freeze this and check something.
I want permission to stop Jim.
No, you do not have permission to slap him.
He's making fun of me.
Okay,